Oh no. Oh no. Not again. We can't actually be dealing with this once more. I thought we got out of the world of weakest Pokemon. I was so excited to move on from these terrible things, and now we've got to look into the weakest ones from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I mean, I gotta assume a majority of this list is probably going to be Pokemon that were on those lists. I don't want to talk about Swarmadam again. Ugh. But we gotta do what we gotta do. This is a different set of circumstances for these Pokemon. Being under the 8th gen umbrella now, while a lot of the Pokemon on those lists in my top 10 weakest series were only available in the 7th gen. So while we're probably about to see a ton of familiar faces, at least there's going to be somewhat new stuff to talk about with them. Now, let's hop right into the list and determine what the weakest of the weakest is for Sinnoh this go around. Here, opening our top 10 is Shadinja, one of the most interesting Pokemon ever made in my opinion. When it was first introduced, that Wonder Guard ability probably caught many people playing Pokemon off guard. However, it's definitely been figured out these almost 20 years since the release of Ruby and Sapphire. And unfortunately for it, that results in it being the worst Ghost-type Pokemon. It's absolutely destroyed by Stealth Rocks, and if it's poisoned or burned, it's done immediately. As we look at its weaknesses, those typings along with the hazards and status moves are the only things that can actually hurt Shadinja. That's a lot now. There just is no helping this thing. You can't run heavy-duty boots in this game since they don't exist in Sinnoh, and if you run a Focus Sash, you're still at the mercy of Rock. It opens the top 10 because it can actually, somehow, potentially catch a trainer off guard. Everything would need to go right, but if you took a Shadinja into battle without any hazards popping up, and the opponent couldn't cause a status ailment or didn't have a super effective move against Bug or Ghost types, as improbable as that would be, it's still possible. I guess you could say Shadinja is the ultimate gambler's Pokemon. It's really bad in Sword and Shield, and is even worse here in BDSP. But the weird aspect of being able to actually sweep a team out of nowhere with it keeps it at only the 10th spot. Oh, what's this? Here at number 9, we have Mothim. Does that mean what I think it does? Could we potentially have no Swarmadam on this list? God, I hope that's the case. I really don't want to talk about that damn thing again. So here's the skinny on Mothim. It's got Quiver Dance, which I'm sure means a lot to some of you big fans of it. However, I ask you to look beyond the opportunity to set up and instead focus on the fact that it's a flying bug type with base 66 speed. That's right, base 66 speed. So try not to fall in love with the 2 base 94 attack stats. We have to face facts here. You can't safely set up a Pokemon like this that has such a horrible defensive typing and lacking the speed it needs to safely get a setup off first. If you did somehow manage to set it up though, moves Mothim can turn to include Bug Buzz, Air Slash and Giga Drain, as well as Defog if you want to get rid of some hazards. There is potential in Mothim's move pool, which is more than I can say for anything appearing after it today. The main problem is just the fact that its base stats aren't up to standard, so it can't take advantage of anything it's got going on. So, yeah. Let's just end it here and pray that Swarmadam isn't anywhere to be seen. Wow, would you look at this Pokemon? The one that started all the weakest escapades here on the channel. That lava snail, Magcargo. It's finally getting a chance to participate in the 8th generation, and it's still pretty much doing nothing note of interest. At this point, I will forever maintain one fact. The only good thing about Megcargo really is the fact that it has reliable recovery, and that's it. Getting into its stats, its defense is great, being base 120, and 90 base special attack is usually a great start to build off of. The problem? That would be the base 30 speed and 60 HP that completely eliminate any chance Magcargo has to take a hit and then hit back. What's worse is its typing in general, which leaves it times 4 weak to water and ground, as well as it's still weak to stealth rocks and just about every other entry hazard. Your best bet in battle is just sitting around with Recover, Stealth Rocks, and Toxic, and just counting your blessings if Magcargo even lasts 1 turn. The sick, upsetting truth is BDSP didn't do anything to make Magcargo better, but at least it didn't really hurt it any more than it already was either. I guess, like I mentioned earlier, you want to just run those utility moves and maybe try to burn opposing Pokemon with Flame Body. But that's really it. Sorry Magcargo, but you're still just not a big deal. Fuck. It's Swarmadam. I really don't want to talk about it. Oh, God. Okay. I'll do it because it's the right thing for the video and for the channel. And if I have to talk about these damn things one more time, I swear I better not have to go over them again. I'm gonna lose my mind if I do. But anyway, where to start? Well, how about the stats, I guess? They're really bad for all 3 forms, with mostly the same defensive and offensive swaps here and there. They're all really slow, and none of them have access to a decent set of abilities. It's like, why just call the Steel type trash? They're all trash. That should have just been the name of all 3 cloaks. There are no new items or anything of the sort that magically help Swarmadam perform better. So you're still stuck relying on Quiver Dance to try and set them up to do any sort of damage. Here's the deal though, their bulk isn't good enough to set up the 3 or 4 Quiver Dances you'd need. Just about any Pokemon with a competent attack stat can use a Fire type move and burn Swarmadam down to its gross stem, whatever that might look like. The only thing that was good for Swarmadam with BDSP was getting access to Giga Drain across all 3 cloaks instead of just the plant one. I guess that tiny recovery option was enough to put it ahead of the next few Pokemon. But still, just like all of the Pokemon on this list, it sucks. So we're going to close out our upper half of the list with the absolute weakest flying type, Ladyin. It's back in BDSP, and it's still wonderfully bad, if not worse. Its stats are harsh, with the exception of its special defense, and it's sort of jarring for it to not even be in the top 5. I mean, it really is bad. Having only 110 special defense and 80 speed, and then not a single stat over 55. Its abilities, Swarm and Early Bird, are pretty terrible, but the hidden ability Iron Fist at least offers something offensively that can probably be used to some sort of degree of success. I really doubt it though, because at the end of the day, 35 physical attack and 55 special attack don't really say, hey, look at me, I'm a powerful and great Pokemon and you should use me. When we look at the move pool on this thing, we see Bug Buzz and Air Slash, which are at least making use of its better attack stat. But those are really the only good moves it has that are special. I guess Focus Blast and Giga Drain are pretty decent bits of coverage, but think about this. It's lost some physical coverage from last gen, like Thunder and Ice Punch, which were arguably more important coverage moves. Though the reality is none of them are important. Ladyin sucks, and nobody is using it, especially for its attacks. You'd just be pulling it out to stand there and take a special hit once or twice. Ladyin is awful, and it's scary to think it gets worse going into the top 5. Sunflora brings a dark and rainy cloud with its sunny personality to the top 5 here today. One good thing is that it's got 105 base special attack. Really, on just about any Pokemon, that would be such a great stat to have. It's the kind of thing that makes a good Pokemon even better, or salvages a Pokemon that might be on the worse end of things. Well, in regards to Sunflora, there is no making it better. that 105 base special attack is actually a complete waste. And it's almost disgracefully so. Its speed is disgustingly bad at base 30. And while its special defense is base 85, that physical defense is only base 55. How in the world can you ever expect to survive a hit and then try to do anything back to an opponent? That's right, you can't. Don't look towards the abilities for help, because chlorophyll doubling Sunflora's speed will make no difference. Think it would be great to make that special attack even better? Well, solar power will do that for you, all while draining Sunflora's health, and make it even easier to knock it out in one hit. Both of those require the sun to be out too, so have fun wasting a turn setting up the sun with this thing, since no normal person would ever include it on a sun team. Alright, up next, we have everyone's favorite red panda-inspired Pokemon, Spinda. Spinda has got base 60 stats across the board, so you can immediately see why it's here and understand my question when I ask, what's the point in Spinda existing? This thing should evolve into something. With stats like this, it's actually inexcusable that it is a fully evolved Pokemon. I don't want to hear arguments about Contrary as an ability saving Spinda, as it doesn't. Contrary can't do enough to help stats this low. It's just the facts. Own Tempo and Tangled Feet are stupidly bad for this Pokemon too. It has lost access to every single elemental punch it once had access to, and it doesn't even have Dizzy Punch anymore. How can you take a move like that away from a Pokemon like Spinda? This thing is literally always dizzy. I can't believe that it was actually able to take a step back from being already absolutely terrible. There's barely anything it can use if it sets up Calm Mind, and it can't even act as a utility mon with Stealth Rocks no longer in its pool. Spinda is lucky that the next 3 Pokemon are so ungodly horrible, or else it would have been such an easy number 1 to go with. I hope it and its billion different patterns continue to be irrelevant. It's time to figure out which Pokemon took the bronze medal here today on this list. And go figure, it's the middle of December and we have a Delibird appearance. Its best stat is 75 base speed. That's right, best stat, 75 base speed. Its special attack is 65, but everything else is south of 60, and that is just tragic. It's got a ton of bad weaknesses with its typing, and its 3 abilities are of no use or help. However, I guess if you want to actually do any damage with its attacks, it would be thanks to Hustle that you're able to. Sure, its attack is boosted by 50%, but what are you going to use to even attack with? Delibird no longer gets Seed Bomb and Drill Run in these games, on top of several other moves, meaning it's left with just stuff like Brick Break, Drill Peck, and Ice Punch that are significantly less useful. That's just not good enough for any sort of success, especially with a Pokemon that isn't even really well equipped stats-wise to be a physical attacker. Oh, and need I mention, it no longer has access to heavy-duty boots, so Stealth Rocks will crush its health. Yeah, I think that's enough. Sorry, Delibird, I'd tell you to keep it shady, but you're not really good enough to do so. Ah yes, if you've been paying attention to the pattern of this top 5, you'll know it's followed a very similar path to my ranking the weakest Pokemon best to worst video. Well, the number 2 should be very obvious to those of you who have picked up on things. It's that dastardly, aggravating Love Disc. I still hate this thing, and the fact that it's constantly following me on the worst teams and these types of lists, but I can't deny that it's so bad, it's really making a name for itself. I mean, a lot of Pokemon we've seen in this video have been spoken about plenty. I'd say Swarmadam, Love Disc, Magcargo, and a few other garbage Pokemon have probably gotten as much screen time on this channel as Alakazam and Umbreon have. I guess sometimes negativity does breed popularity, but geez. The defenses on this thing are atrocious, It has a base 43 HP stat, and there is no room at all to save it offensively. Its abilities are quite literally the most useless lineup I have ever seen on a Pokemon, as Swift Swim is so incredibly unnecessary, and Hydration would never come through clutch because trainers won't waste their time causing status elements for this thing. They'll knock it out in one hit instead. The rain doesn't matter with Swift Swim when it's already fast, and it's most certainly not helping its water attacks get any stronger. Scald, Surf, and Ice Beam are the only moves worth using in this pool, and that isn't the most coverage-friendly lineup. I'm not going to say anymore. Just looking at this thing is starting to make me angry all over again. Finally, we're at the weakest Pokemon in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This is an interesting entry because I can feel it triggering a bit of a rant. Not as much about the Pokemon, but something else. So let's get the obvious out of the way. Unknown is the worst Pokemon in these games. Its stats are all just trash, completely too low, and quite frankly the layout makes even Luvdisc blush. It ain't landing an attack because it'll always be outsped, and basically with only hidden power, it's incredibly limited in doing anything successfully. So that's really all I have to say about Unknown. But now I have something to say to Game Freak and by extension Ilka. Why in the world would you ever include hidden power in these games and leave it as an exclusive move for Unknown? What is your problem with this particular move? It was completely left out of Sword and Shield, and then upon being forced back to bring Unknown back for BDSP, you knew you were going to have to bring Hidden Power back. It's got a rich history in competitive of being a great move to slap on a Pokemon for coverage, and its removal was already a controversial one. So you have the nerve to make it exclusive to the worst Pokemon in the entire franchise? That's honestly inexcusable, and it leaves me pretty aggravated. I get that Game Freak wanted to balance things by removing Hidden Power, Return, and Frustration, but to effectively restrict Hidden Power to just one Pokemon isn't fair or balancing. It's just lazy and uninspired, and I'm not a fan. That's it for my rant though. Unknown sucks, and it closes out this list. That's it for this video, folks. All of these Pokemon were well known for being awful already, but they managed to step right back in the spotlight for some new and sad reasons. Pokemon is always about evolving and changing, but as we learned from this video, sometimes those changes can just make things worse. That'll do it for this one though, so just remember one thing before we bring it home. Hidden Power got screwed over and didn't deserve it. Hey guys, thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. It's exciting times for the Pokemon franchise, and I look forward to the coming months where it just keeps getting better. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all of this without them. If you guys are wanting some more bite-sized Mystic Umbreon content, please check out my TikTok, where I upload daily, as well as the Mystic Umbreon Shorts channel. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I think it's time to wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.